This is Tom Potts, and I'd like to welcome you to a new season of the award-winning Adventures in Compliance, the podcast where we look at the Sherlock Holmes short stories, movies, novels, and related material from the angle of compliance. The casebook of Sherlock Holmes is the final set of 12 out of a total of 56 Sherlock Holmes short stories published by Arthur Conan Doyle. These were published, of course, in the Strand magazine between October 1921 and April 1927. The books, are two of the short stories, The Adventure of the Veiled Lodger and The Whole Shuscombe Old Place, were the last of the Sherlock Holmes works protected by copyright. Although some of the stories are comparable with earlier works, many people feel that this is a lesser offering of Holmes, to which I wholeheartedly disagree. I hope that you will join us for this exploration, the final collective works of Sherlock Holmes, as we take a deep dive literally into business ethics, leadership, investigative strategies, pattern recognition, and perhaps even portending the use of AI and generative AI as a tool for the compliance profession. There are some great stories in here, and I know you will enjoy them. And I hope you will enjoy this season of Adventures in Compliance really as much as I've enjoyed reading the stories. Today, we're going to take up one of the least known of the 56 A. Conan Doyle Sherlock Holmes short stories. Today, we're going to take up The Adventure of the Lion's Mane, which was released in the Strand magazine in November of 1926. I know you'll enjoy it. We're going to have a quick word from our network sponsor, Ethico, then we'll be right back.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
And now, The Adventure of the Lion's Mane. Holmes is firmly enthralled in his retirement home besides the Sussex Beach and chatting with a friend, Harold Stackhurst, headmaster of a nearby preparatory school. Suddenly, their idyllic chat is interrupted by another man, the school's science master, Macpherson, who collapses and dies in agony before them. His last words are indistinguishable between the two of them, lion's mane. His body is examined. Vicious red welts decorate his back, shoulders, and ribs as Holmes and Inspector Bartle of the Sussex Constabulary investigate his death. It seems evident that they are dealing with a particularly cruel and sadistic murder, possibly involving a cat o' nine tails, possibly a mesh of hot wires, and possibly engendered by a jealous rival for a particular young lady, the school math teacher, Murdoch. In fact, Bartle is on the point of arresting the man when Holmes, who has never forgotten the dying man's last anguished words, has a thought. Macpherson has been in the habit of bathing in a nearby lagoon treated following a recent storm. So had Murdoch, who now appears hideously scarred by the same dread weapon that dispatched Macpherson. Or not. No man-made instrument of torture caused these searing wounds. They are distinctive stings of a species of jellyfish called the lion's mane. Holmes finds the beast and kills it with a rock, which is actually quite an accomplishment, given the creature's ability to squish and squelch itself from all such blows. And clearly, nobody murdered anyone. In fact, Holmes most certainly wouldn't have said the whole affair turned out to be jellimentary-ish. Ouch. And now, what are the compliance lessons from The Adventure of the Lion's Mane? As I mentioned, this short story was released in 1926, and it offers an unconventional Sherlock Holmes tale, one filled with mystery, natural danger, and a case where deduction triumphs in unexpected ways. For the corporate compliance professional, this story contains valuable lessons about vigilance, adaptability, and the importance of meticulous investigation. So let's take up the lessons learned. Number one, unraveling unseen threats, the importance of a root cause analysis. The heart of the story revolves around a hidden danger, Cinea capilia, or the lion's mane jellyfish, whose deadly sting is misinterpreted as a human attack. Holmes' initial challenge is to identify an unfamiliar threat that no one suspects. It also serves as a stark reminder to compliance professionals. Sometimes risks may not appear at first glance. For the compliance professional, when investigating compliance failures, resist the urge to focus solely on surface issues or the most obvious suspects. A robust root cause analysis helps uncover underlying problems, such as systemic policy weakness or unnoticed external risks. As the DOJ's guidance on compliance programs emphasizes, the process is critical for preventing a reoccurrence. Number two, adapting new roles. Compliance as a business partner. In this story, Holmes acts outside his usual urban setting and without the aid of Watson, emphasizing his ability to adapt to new environments. And you might say, for the author Conan Doyle as well, writing in Holmes' first person. Similarly, a compliance professional must remain effective in unfamiliar situations, whether it's responding to emerging risks in a new market, adapting to regulatory changes, or managing operations in a remote, decentralized office. For compliance professionals, flexibility and adaptability operate effectively in a dynamic environment, and these are essential for compliance officers. By embracing their roles as business partners, compliance professionals can proactively address risks unique to different operational contexts. 3. Don't discount nature. Understanding external risks. The lion's mane jellyfish emphasizes that external forces exist and are often overlooked as risks by organizations. For compliance professionals, they can represent risks outside a company's control, such as geopolitical instability, pandemics, environmental hazards, or third-party misconduct. Ignoring these factors can lead to unforeseen consequences, as the victims in this story tragically discovers. Compliance programs must take into account external risk, conduct comprehensive due diligence on third parties, monitor geopolitical developments, and ensure that your enterprise risk management strategy includes external threats. 4. Observation and patience, hallmarks of an effective investigation. Holmes solves the case by observing minute details and connecting them with his extensive knowledge of natural sciences. His ability to piece together clues demonstrates the importance of patience and meticulous observation in investigations. In compliance investigations, haste can lead to incorrect conclusions or missed risks. Adopt a methodical approach, gather all evidence, engage in subject matter experts when necessary, and ensure your findings are well documented to withstand regulatory scrutiny. Number 5, communication is critical. Holmes' eventual success relies not just on his investigative prowess, but also on his ability to explain the unusual cause of death to others. This parallels the compliance officer's role in effectively communicating complex risks and findings to stakeholders. Clear and concise communication of compliance issues to leadership, employees, and regulators is paramount. Using plain language, visual aids, or training sessions to ensure your message is understood across the organization. Finally, the adventure of the lion's mane challenges the reader to consider threats that lurk beneath the surface, waiting to strike at the unwary. For compliance professionals, it is a reminder to be vigilant, thorough, and adaptable in your work. By channeling Sherlock Holmes' investigative rigor and the ability to think beyond the obvious, you can build a compliance program that withstands even the most unexpected challenges. So the next time you face a perplexing compliance issue, ask yourself, what would Holmes deduce? I hope you've enjoyed this episode from the final collected work of A. Conan Doyle on Sherlock Holmes, the Casebook of Sherlock Holmes. As I mentioned at the start of this podcast, the sponsor of the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. So check out their free offer in the show notes, the Middle Manager's Toolkit. I know you will find it incredibly useful as a part of your compliance toolkit going forward. If you are a Sherlock Holmes fan, aficionado, or maven, and you'd like to discuss an episode, a book, a short story, or a movie with me, I hope you'll reach out to me. I would love to visit with you. As you know from this podcast series, I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan, and I love talking to other Holmesians and Holmes-Lockians as well. Indeed, if you're a fan of the Basil Rathbone movies, I'm getting ready to do the entire Basil Rathbone Nigel Bruce series, and I'd love to have a guest on to talk about the movies with me. I've done a couple with Adam Graham, so there's, I think, 13 left for us to take a look at, and it's going to be a ton of fun as the movies present Holmes in a little bit different light, bringing him to America, or at least North America, and I would love to be able to chat with you about them. So please contact me. You can email me at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. I hope you'll join us again next week where we take up one of the very lesser known Sherlock Holmes stories, The Adventure of the Retired Cobbleman.